Hello, movie buffs, and welcome to another exciting edition of our cinematic podcast. I am Bruno Angels, your host on this journey through the cinema screen. Today, we will embark on an intense and impactful journey as we explore the world of Django Unchained, a masterpiece directed by renowned filmmaker Quentin Tarantino. When it comes to Tarantino, we can expect a unique experience with each film, and Django Unchained is no exception. This revisionist Western, released in 2012, delves deep into the antebellum American South, where slavery was a cruel reality. Get ready for an in-depth analysis of this epic, where revenge, justice, and Tarantino's trademark intertwine in a visceral narrative. Before we explore the terrain of Django Unchained, it is worth giving an overview of the remarkable filmography of the visionary Quentin Tarantino. This filmmaker, known for his unique and stylized approach, began his career with the iconic Reservoir Dogs in 1992, a nonlinear narrative full of sharp dialogue that quickly put him on the radar of the cinematic world. Tarantino's impact continued with Pulp Fiction in 1994, a landmark in the history of contemporary cinema. This film, made up of interconnected stories, not only defined the Tarantino style but also secured his position as one of the most influential directors of the decade. Tarantino's journey through the world of cinema continued with Jackie Brown, 1997, Kill Bill, Volume 1, 2003, and Kill Bill, Volume 2, 2004. Each film features a unique palette of genres, from crime drama to samurai revenge epic, showcasing the director's versatility in creating distinct cinematic worlds. In Death Proof, 2007, Tarantino delved into the exploitation genre, bringing his trademark of witty dialogue and narrative twists. The universe of Inglourious Bastard, 2009, took us into an alternative history of World War II, revealing Tarantino's mastery of rewriting history with his own unique vision. Tarantino's journey culminated in Django Unchained, 2012, where the director explored the Wild West and the horrors of slavery with a unique blend of stylized violence and eloquent dialogue. Entering the complex and provocative universe of Django Unchained, we are immediately transported to the southern United States, 2 years before the Civil War, in the midst of a cruel and oppressive reality, slavery. Quentin Tarantino, known for his bold narratives, introduces us to Django, masterfully played by Jamie Foxx, a slave who, after being freed by a German bounty hunter named Dr. King Schultz, sets out on a relentless journey of revenge and liberation. The plot unfolds with Schultz, brilliantly played by Christoph Waltz, recognizing Django's potential and proposing a partnership. Schultz, who is also a bounty hunter, offers Django the opportunity to become a free man if he assists him in capturing wanted criminals. This dynamic forges a unique and intense connection between the two characters as they travel through a southern landscape steeped in violence and prejudice. Django's ultimate goal, however, goes beyond monetary reward. He seeks to rescue his wife, Broomhilda, played by Kerry Washington, from the clutches of the brutal Calvin Candy, an owner of an infamous cotton plantation. The path to Candyland is a tortuous one, revealing not only the layers of Django's character, but also exploring the complexity of the film's underlying themes, including racism, freedom, and the quest for justice. Tarantino weaves this narrative with his trademark sharp dialogue, stunning visual sequences, and a soundtrack that echoes the emotional intensity of the plot. The inevitable confrontation between Django and Calvin Candy culminates in an explosive climax, leaving an indelible mark on cinema history. Django Unchained isn't just a revisionist Western, it's a provocative reflection on American history and a hard-hitting exploration of the fight for freedom amid injustice. This is a film that challenges, moves and, above all, makes us question the nuances of right and wrong. Amid the brutal and inhumane backdrop of slavery in the American South, the human plot of Django Unchained unfolds with remarkable complexity and sensitivity. At the center of this narrative is Django, a man who transcends the physical chains of slavery and sets out on a journey of self-discovery, revenge, and the search for freedom. The relationship between Django and Dr. King Schultz, although initially motivated by self-interest, develops into a genuine partnership and, ultimately, a friendship. Schultz not only frees Django from his chains, but also empowers him to challenge the oppressive structures that govern the society in which they live. The dynamic between these two characters is a constant source of exploration of the human condition, highlighting themes of camaraderie, respect, and, ultimately, sacrifice. As the plot progresses, Django's quest for personal freedom evolves into a broader mission, the liberation of his wife, Broomhilda, from the clutches of slavery. Django's emotional construction is intricate, and each confrontation and challenge faced along the way deepens his personal journey and his determination to rescue the person he loves. The introduction of secondary characters, such as Stephen, played by Samuel L. Jackson, adds additional layers to the exploration of the human plot. The loyalty, betrayal, and moral complexities that permeate these relationships challenge traditional notions of good and evil, creating an intriguing web of human relationships. Quentin Tarantino uses his mastery of cinematic language to not only tell the story, but to delve into the depths of the human condition. The violence portrayed in the film is not only physical, but often symbolic, representing the fight for freedom and justice in a historically troubled context. By analyzing the human plot of Django Unchained, we are invited to reflect on humanity's ability to resist oppression, seek redemption, and forge its own narrative in the midst of adversity. This is a film that transcends the boundaries of the Western genre, exploring the depths of the human soul in a challenging and critical setting. In addition to the richness of the human plot, the locations of Django Unchained play a fundamental role in the visual and atmospheric construction of the film. Quentin Tarantino, known for his attention to detail, chose locations that not only served the narrative but also evoked authenticity and immersion in the Western era. The film features a variety of locations that capture the vastness and diversity of the American South in the 19th century. From the vast cotton plantations to the dusty towns of the Old West, each environment contributes to the unique atmosphere of Django Unchained. One of the notable locations is the fictional town of Candyland, where much of the film's climax takes place. Choosing to film in real locations rather than relying exclusively on studios adds a touch of authenticity to the cinematic experience. The vast landscapes, rustic buildings, and period architecture transport the viewer to a pivotal period in American history. Tarantino not only uses these locations as backdrops, but incorporates them into the narrative, transforming them into characters in their own right. The use of real locations also brought unique challenges to the production. The team had to deal with unpredictable weather conditions, integrate period-authentic elements, and navigate the logistical complexities of filming outdoors. However, these challenges contributed to the creation of a cinematic world that breathes authenticity. Ennio Morricone's soundtrack, with its evocative and powerful notes, intertwines with the visual landscape, creating a symphony that resonates in the hearts of viewers. The locations in Django Unchained aren't just sets, they are silent witnesses to the struggle for freedom and justice in a tumultuous time. As we go behind the scenes of Django Unchained, we come across an aspect of the film that deserves special attention: the challenges faced by the team in implementing practical effects. Quentin Tarantino, known for his preference for traditional and practical techniques, once again chose to create an authentic and visceral visual experience, defying the convention of computerized visual effects. The challenges began with accurately recreating the atmosphere of the Wild West. Rural settings and dusty cities were built from scratch, incorporating every detail, from building facades to everyday utensils. This meticulous approach not only provided the actors with an authentic environment for their performances, but also contributed to immersing the audience in a brutal and real past. However, one of the biggest practical challenges was executing the film's intense action and violence scenes. The brutality of the fight sequences and armed clashes required precise choreography and perfect execution to ensure the safety of the cast and crew. Scenes of explosions, shootouts, and duels were choreographed with a delicate balance between realism and safety, resulting in moments of action that resonate with authenticity. Another notable aspect was the practical approach in creating the slavery sequences. The chains, instruments of punishment, and plantation environments were accurately recreated, allowing the actors to immerse themselves in the inhumane conditions faced by the characters. This choice not only increased visual authenticity, but also respected the historical gravity of the topic addressed. Robert Richardson's cinematography played a crucial role in highlighting the practical effects. The choice of angles and careful lighting helped capture the brutality of the scenes without losing Tarantino's unique cinematic aesthetic. Amid all these challenges, the Django Unchained team demonstrated mastery in balancing authenticity with safety, creating a film that stands out for its practical approach and impressive delivery of impactful sequences. In Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino elevates the Western experience by exploring not only the intense action, but also the visual effects that bring this cinematic spectacle to life. The unique combination of action and visuals is a testament to the director's bold vision, which seeks to provide an experience that transcends the limits of the genre. The action in Django Unchained isn't just physical, it is loaded with meaning and purpose. The sequences of shootouts, duels, and armed confrontations are not merely moments of spectacle, but narrative tools that drive the plot and develop the characters. Every bullet fired, every choreographed movement is an expression of the fight for freedom, justice, and redemption. The Western, as a film genre, is often noted for its iconic action scenes and vast landscapes. Tarantino, in approaching this genre, not only pays homage to these elements but reinvents them with his unique vision. The action sequences in Django Unchained are masterfully choreographed, capturing the tension and urgency inherent to the narrative. The visual effects, while not the focal point of the film, play a crucial role in Tarantino's cinematic world-building. The visual authenticity, from the Wild West environments to the meticulously crafted costumes, transports audiences to an era where violence and injustice reigned. Robert Richardson's photography contributes significantly to the film's aesthetic. The choice of shots, dramatic lighting, and careful visual composition add layers of depth to the narrative. Cinematography not only accompanies the action but also amplifies emotions, providing visual moments that linger in the viewer's memory. The soundtrack, a collaboration between Quentin Tarantino and the renowned Ennio Morricone, is an essential component of the visual and auditory experience. Every note, every chord resonates in harmony with the action on screen, intensifying the atmosphere and providing a complete sensory experience. Deeping into the heart of Django Unchained, we come across an essential element that contributes significantly to the film's visual experience: the design. From the lush costumes to the detailed sets, every aspect of the production design is an intrinsic piece of the puzzle. Head that makes up the world richly constructed by Quentin Tarantino. The film's design dives headfirst into recreating the Old West, but not in a traditional way. Tarantino, known for his unique and stylized approach, infuses a contemporary touch into every visual element, creating an aesthetic that transcends the expectations of the Western genre. The costumes are a visual expression of each character's unique character. From Dr. King Schultz's imposing costumes to Jamie Foxx's iconic Django attire, each piece is carefully chosen to reflect each protagonist's personality, social standing, and individual journey. The fictional town of Candyland, with its grand and decaying architecture, is a stunning example of set design. Every building, every street, is meticulously planned to transport the viewer to the cruel and magnificent universe of Django Unchained. The contrast between rural environments and sumptuous mansions reinforces the social and cultural disparities of the period. The color palette chosen by Tarantino and cinematographer Robert Richardson plays a crucial role in the visual aesthetic. Vibrant and saturated colors are used strategically, highlighting key moments and accentuating the emotional intensity of the scenes. The combination of warm and cool tones contributes to the film's unique atmosphere. Sound design, including sound effects and soundtrack, is an integral part of the experience. The choice to use contemporary music in a historical context may be considered anachronistic, but it is an example of Tarantino's ability to subvert expectations and create a unique experience. The collaboration between Quentin Tarantino and legendary art director J. Michael Riva, who sadly passed away during the film's production, is evident in every detail. The design of Django Unchained is a visual tapestry that unites aesthetics and substance, providing an immersive and unforgettable cinematic experience. In Django Unchained, photography plays a central role in creating the unique and immersive visual aesthetic that defines the film. The collaboration between Quentin Tarantino and cinematographer Robert Richardson results in a visually striking work where each frame is meticulously composed to tell a story of its own. The choice to use the CinemaScope widescreen format is a conscious decision that amplifies the grandeur of the Wild West setting. Each composition is a painting in motion, capturing not only the characters, but also the vastness of the landscapes, the details of the costumes, and the imposing architecture of the locations. The cinematography of Django Unchained is not content with just being functional, it is an essential part of visual storytelling. The detailed shots, carefully choreographed camera movements, and framing choices contribute to the emotional intensity of each scene. Richardson masterfully uses light and shadow, creating a visual palette that reflects the narrative's intrinsic contrasts. The decision to shoot on film, instead of using digital technologies, gives the work a classic cinematic texture. Every grain of film is reminiscent of the golden age of cinema, adding a layer of nostalgia to the viewing experience. The choice to film in 35mm is an artistic statement that resonates with Tarantino's approach to honoring cinematic tradition. Photography also plays a fundamental role in symbolic representation. The warm, golden tones during moments of triumph and resolution contrast vividly with the cooler tones that permeate scenes of tension and confrontation. This visual palette not only beautifies the film, but also communicates subtle emotions and narrative nuances. The collaboration between Tarantino and Richardson is not limited to cinematic technique, it extends to the creation of iconic images that remain etched in the viewer's memory. Each scene is an opportunity to explore not just the action on screen, but also the visual aesthetic that surrounds it. In Django Unchained, the soundtrack plays an integral role in creating the film's unique atmosphere. The collaboration between Quentin Tarantino and legendary composer Ennio Morricone results in a soundtrack that not only complements but also deepens the cinematic experience, elevating the narrative to new emotional heights. Ennio Morricone, a master of film music composition, had previously worked with Tarantino on Death Proof. In Django Unchained, the partnership between director and composer reaches a new level, providing a soundtrack that has become instantly recognizable and timeless. The soundtrack is a unique fusion of classical and contemporary elements. Morricone uses traditional instruments, such as the Spanish guitar, to evoke the Western aesthetic but also incorporates modern elements, including electronic beats, which add a layer of freshness and originality to the music. The main track, Django, is emblematic and sets the tone of the film from the first chords. The catchy melody and masterful execution evoke not only the protagonist's journey but also the essence of the film as a whole. Every time this song resonates, we are immediately transported to the visceral and thrilling universe of Django Unchained. Another highlight is Morricone's reinterpretation of the song Ancorica, which features the mesmerizing voice of Elisa Toffoli. The song, which becomes a leitmotif throughout the film, adds a deep emotional dimension, reflecting moments of triumph, sadness and redemption. The soundtrack not only accentuates the dramatic moments, but also serves as a narrative element in its own right. The choice of specific music for certain scenes creates a unique symbiosis between sound and image, providing a complete sensory experience. In its cinematic journey, Django Unchained has not only captured the screen, but also the hearts of critics and viewers around the world. The reception of this revisionist Western epic has been marked by effusive praise and fervent discussion about its unique approach, its cultural impact and his memorable performances. Upon its release in 2012, the film immediately received critical acclaim. Quentin Tarantino has once again shown his ability to subvert audience expectations, redefining the Western genre with a bold narrative, captivating characters and an unmistakable visual aesthetic. Robert Richardson's cinematography and Ennio Morricone's score were particularly praised for their essential contribution to the cinematic experience. On the casting front, the performances were standout, with Jamie Foxx receiving praise for his convincing portrayal of Django, an unlikely hero in search of his and his wife's freedom. Christoph Waltz, who had already worked with Tarantino in Inglourious Bastard, won over critics and audiences again by portraying the complex Dr. King Schultz. The antagonist, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, Calvin Candy, also received plaudits for his intense and challenging portrayal. Public reception was equally positive, with many viewers admiring Tarantino's courage in approaching sensitive historical themes in a unique way. Django Unchained isn't just a Western film, it's a provocative exploration of slavery, revenge and the quest for justice, wrapped in a stylized package that only Tarantino could provide. However, as is common with many provocative works, there were also debates and controversies surrounding Django Unchained. Questions about the representation of violence, cultural appropriation and Tarantino's approach to American history were raised, generating significant discussions about the role of cinema in reflecting on the past. In this special episode dedicated to Django Unchained, we meticulously explore the many elements that make this film a cinematic masterpiece. From the provocative narrative to the unique visual aesthetic, each aspect contributes to an experience that transcends mere entertainment and transforms in a testament to Quentin Tarantino's visionary talent. We begin our journey with a deep dive into the plot, unraveling the layers of the narrative that address themes such as slavery, revenge and the search for freedom. Through striking characters and memorable performances, Django Unchained takes us through a revisionist Western that defies convention and resonates with cultural significance. We also explore the visual elements that enrich the narrative. From the meticulous design to the photography that captures the vastness of the Old West, each frame is a moving work of art. The soundtrack, created by Ennio Morricone in collaboration with Tarantino, elevates the experience to unique emotional and sensorial levels. As we address practical challenges, visual effects and the reception from critics and audiences, we delve behind the scenes of production, understanding the effort dedicated to creating this masterpiece. The debates generated around the film, the controversies and critical reflections are testimony to the lasting impact that Django Unchained has on cinematic culture. We end this podcast with the certainty that Django Unchained is not just a film, it is a cinematic experience that transcends generations. Its ability to provoke intense emotions, incite meaningful debate, and challenge established norms is a testament to the power of cinema when in the hands of a master like Quentin Tarantino. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the dusty corridors of the Wild West, the cotton fields of American history, and the nuances of Tarantino's storytelling. If you liked this episode, don't forget to leave your comments, share it on social media and, of course, give it a like or star, depending on the platform you're using. Stay tuned for the next episodes, where we will continue to explore the fascinating world of cinema. Until then, may the seventh art continue to inspire, question and transport us to extraordinary universes. This was Bruno Angels, and this is the podcast that uncovers the nuances of the cinematic world.